Hello everybody, this is Skarest here bringing you another exciting, wonderful, glorious episode of Skarest on Gaming, where we take a look at various gaming news going on around the industry, and you get my completely pointless and probably don't care all that much commentary, but I like giving it anyway, so you're going to get it. We're going to start off real quick then with the PlayStation Vita. Apparently there is a PlayStation Plus bundle that was spotted that GameStop will be offering. This will be offering come the 7th of December. They are calling it the PlayStation Plus Instant Game Collection PlayStation Vita bundle. It's a bit ridiculous, but whatever. The bundle is going to be $2.99. It's going to end up coming with the PlayStation 3G Wi-Fi system, 1-year membership of PlayStation Plus, a Unit 13 game voucher, and a 4GB memory card. Now, the big thing on here is, of course, the fact that it's coming with PlayStation Plus, which was not too long ago, I believe, just released for the PS Vita. That right there is probably the most important part of it. The PlayStation Plus is, I've said this before, it's almost, in my opinion, necessary if you end up buying a PlayStation. You just have to have it. So because of that, that's a big reason. Now this is also the 3G model, not just the Wi-Fi model, so that's going to add on to the cost and why it's pushing that $2.99. Then you have the Unit 13 game voucher and the 4GB memory card. Overall, not a bad deal if you want the 3G. If you don't care about the 3G, I'd personally pick up one of the bundles that has a game that you'd rather have, like the Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation bundle, or if you really want the Black Ops Declassified bundle, I'd pick up one of those instead if you don't care about the 3G part of it. Pick those up. Those end up being $2.49 right now. They come with the game, and then just buy the PlayStation Plus separately, which is going to run you another $50. The only real other difference coming in it is that it has the 4GB memory card, which is, well, pointless is a good way to put that. As an example, if you decided to pick it up, Unit 13, the game that comes with it, has a 1.2 gig download. Then Uncharted Golden Abyss, which is part of the PlayStation Plus instant game stuff right now, so you're able to download it to the PlayStation Plus. It's a 3.2 gigabyte one right there. So those two games you can't even have on the system because you're sitting at 4.4, you're done for. You're going to want to have to pick up a bigger card, and they're not cheap. The 32 gigabyte PlayStation Vita memory card, if you take a peek at Amazon real quick, is looking at about $86. They're stupidly expensive. The reason for this is because this is the one thing that Sony does that pisses me off, is this obsession of theirs of, we are going to be proprietary and make our own memory instead of just using a bloody micro SD card. I'm sure they can come up with all kinds of reasons and excuses for why they had to do this, but at the end of the day, they like making proprietary memory because they can force you to buy it. Everyone who buys a PS Vita is going to buy a bigger memory card of some sort, and they're going to end up making buck off of it. That's really what it comes down to. I hate it. It ticks me off so much. Just use a micro SD card. Everyone else, I mean, Sony's been doing this for a long time. I sold cameras way back in the day for Circuit City when they existed, and it was one of the biggest things is where, hey, you want this? That uses an SD. You want that Panasonic? SD. Oh, you want the Sony? Nope. You need the Sony Pro. No, now it's the Sony Pro Stick Duo, which basically just looks like an SD card. And all that kind of stuff, where they have to have adapters for them because people can't get them to fit into anything, because everyone's computers will take the Pro Stick, but not the Pro Stick Duo, and all this other stuff. I mean, the XD card was one that was around for a little bit. Olympus liked to use the XD card. That went away. They said, hey, let's move the SD card like everyone else on God's green planet. So, Sony, wake up, move to the SD card, stop with this stupidity. Nobody likes you doing it. It's dumb, it's pointless. Let's move on here, okay? But for folks that were looking at it, if you are looking at a 3G system, if you want to pick that up, this is a good bundle to get it. I highly recommend you get the PlayStation Plus bundle. However, if you're not caring about the 3G and your Wi-Fi system's fine, I'd pick up one of the other bundles if it has a game that you'd prefer to get, like Assassin's Creed 3 bundle, and then just pick up the 1-year membership to the PlayStation Plus. That would be my thing. And then ask for Christmas for someone to get you that 32 gigabyte card because the thing's bloody expensive. Okay, so we're going to move on from there. We got a little bit of news coming over from the BBC News Technology. Apparently Microsoft has filed a patent for augmented reality smart glasses. Now, what they're looking at from what the story is talking about is that they're actually looking at doing things related to like sports where you're able to sit there at a game and it will pull up various statistics or player information and all that kind of fun pizzazz. It seems like they're moved along pretty well with this, and of course it's going to be a direct challenge to Google's Project Glass. Well, at least to a point. We don't know what their intentions are with it, and what the intentions of, compared to Google, where Google's come out far more about what they plan on doing with this. Now, this patent was filed back in May of 2011. It is highly detailed. I'm more mentioning this just as a point of interest to show that we're moving along in that kind of technology with the augmented glasses and things of that nature. It's something I find interesting. It's something at the same time I worry about, because the last thing I want is some moron walking down the street wearing his augmented glasses and runs into me. Granted, I'm just the moron that walks down the street that has to wear normal glasses because I can't see without them. What fun, right? So, it's interesting to a point. It depends on what they're really going to do with it. If it's something like that, where if I'm sitting I live in the Tampa Bay area, I live in just outside of St. Petersburg. If they're going to have the Devil Rays, which I still call them the Devil Rays, if you're a sports fan at all, I know they are the Tampa Bay Rays. Don't care. I was here when they were the St. Petersburg Devil Rays. They're still the bloody Devil Rays to me. If I'm going to go down there and watch the Devil Rays, yeah, that'd be kind of cool, where if it sits there and I'm looking at the field and on my glasses, I can actually see, hey, what's the pitcher's ERA right now? What's the batting average for the batter? And that kind of stuff. I think that's really interesting. So if they actually did something like that, I think that'd be really cool. As long as it's used in those type of functions, it's not the normal walking down the road and everyone and their mother is looking through a computer screen while they're doing it. That way we can all run into each other like morons. One can only hope. Okay, moving on, just a real quick bit of news on Bioshock Infinite. Kevin Levine has apparently come out and stated, and when someone was asking if there will be a multiplayer mode, the answer is no. There will be no multiplayer mode. Now this is interesting to me. The reason I say that is because everybody seems to focus really, really hard on multiplayer mode. Your Call of Duty games, that's their purpose, is multiplayer. Yeah, they have a single player. 90% of the people don't give a crap about the single player Call of Duty, or they'll play through it once. Multiplayer is what sells their stuff. Bioshock has said, no, we are making a single player game basically here. We are making a game to tell a story to you, not to tell a story to a group of people and things of that nature. I find that kind of interesting, but I don't really have a problem with it. I like the idea of a game just honestly being a single-player game. There's nothing wrong with a good single-player game that doesn't feel the need to force in a multiplayer mode, because that's what they would be doing right now. If some reason something happened and they decided to add a multiplayer mode, it'd be something being forced in and added, and that's no good. It's exactly... I can't think of the game off the top of my head, but there's been games that have done this in the past, where they're just like, oh, no, we need a multiplayer mode, everybody wants multiplayer, let's get it out there, and it's garbage. Give a good, solid, single-player game, and just go with it, okay? I think that'd be the better way to go. Give us a single-player game, love it, I think we'd all be happy there. Okay. Mojang has a little bit of news, and it's not really Mojang who's the one that's doing this, but it's kind of interesting. It's a Minecraft reality for iOS. Basically, kind of like augmented reality, but with Minecraft stuff instead. This was developed by 13th Lab, who actually has got a bit of a history with augmented reality stuff. Good group of people that work there that know their way around augmented reality. And what they're doing is that you'll be able to put Minecraft-built stuff into the real world at that point in time. So if someone, and you can actually, what's interesting, you can put a GPS location, if I'm understanding this concept right, it's to a very, very good use of GPS location, where you can plant your creations in specific places around the world for other people to find. So if I decide to plant it in my garden, and someone for some strange reason happens to be walking through my garden with an iOS device other than me, and they're looking through it, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna have some sheep in my garden from Minecraft. They can actually look at my garden and they'll see the sheep there, or whatever various objects they are. And these are 3D objects within the device itself, so you're able to walk around them and see the full device, see the full object and stuff like that. It's actually really cool. You can shrink or enlarge and all that kind of stuff. So it's all a matter of what type of limitations are going to do, because much like any game community, there's a lot of trolls that will be involved. So are we talking about, if I happen to be using this device and I'm hanging out and, around the Eiffel Tower, am I going to have to see some gigantic Minecraft version of the Eiffel Tower over the Eiffel Tower? or is there going to be some type of cool little stuff around there? So are people going to be able to block various things with the iOS device, with it? You know, of course, this only works when you're using the application. I mean, I understand that obviously you can still take a picture and you'd see it fine if you're using your iPhone, or if you're just looking at it, of course. But, you know, if they're doing something cool and creative, that's fine. But if they're doing something trolly where, hey, people have put these little cool and creative type of things around here, and now it's all being blocked because some guy decided to make just a giant block that's massive and cover everything, that's kind of aggravating. But the Minecraft Reality app is already available for download. It's $1.99. They've already got some preloaded models for you, so you'll be able to go ahead and start placing things all around your office, all around your school, and all that kind of fun stuff. So you get some interesting stuff out of that. Now we're taking a look at Nintendo. The Nintendo Wii U came out not too long ago, and they've already got a new item coming out, which is the Wii Mini, or we shall call it the Wii. I think it's a much better day. So the Wii will be coming out on December 7th, which is the same time actually the PS Vita massive plus bundle thingamabobber that I don't remember the name of already. It will be coming out. The Wii will just basically be a even smaller version of the Wii. It's $99.99 is what its price point's going to be. It will come with the standard one controller, one nunchuck, one actual waggle stick, and which is what I still call them. I don't care what they want to call them. It's a waggle stick. Your basic composite cables. You won't get the HD component cables, as well, of course, power cord, sensor bar, that kind of fun pizzazz. Now, from looking at it, I can't find off of Nintendo's website any good pictures of the system itself, at least good enough to make me happy. From what I'm looking at it, it looks like it may be an actual top-loading system. It seems to me, at least, that it is an actual hit the button, a thing pops up, disc goes in, top-loading system. Which kind of makes sense because, I mean, there's less motorization needed in the system. At that point in time, all you need is a spring on a door, basically, in order to make that work, and you're not having to have the motorized system of having the disc go out and in and all that kind of stuff. So if that is their intentions, it works. It should make it interesting to see what the modding crew does with it. I don't know if they're running any different operating system on it. I imagine that it should still be able to be homebrewed without much of an issue. But the physical modifications, I think, shall be interesting. I think you'll see some really nice physical mods that people come up with out here. And I think those are going to be kind of spiffy and kind of cool. But it is starting at $99, so if you're really looking to get a Wii this year for some reason instead of getting the Wii U, go ahead. The only real advantage to the Wii over the Wii U is the fact that obviously it has a larger game catalog at the moment, but of course the Wii games are backwards compatible to the Wii, or the Wii U is backwards compatible to the Wii, but the Wii will not play, or the Wii will play GameCube games while the Wii U will not. Now, if this is top loading, kind of interesting. I hope it should still work. I don't imagine they're going to go ahead and get rid of the ability for it to be backwards compatible, but we shall have to see. So it is coming out at $99, standard package otherwise, nothing really changed or surprising about it. It is red, it's not coming with any type of games, no Mario in there, nothing of that nature. So we'll see if that does any sales for them. I don't know why exactly they decided to invest any money in doing that. It seems kind of silly. I mean, the system is old. It's very old at this point in time. It was old almost when it came out, when it comes to the pure technology as far as its processing power and things of that nature. It was already old when it came out. So I don't know exactly what Nintendo is doing here. I don't know what their purpose and their intent is with, hey, we just released our brand new system that will actually attempt to make us money. Granted, it is selling at a loss, but it's a one-game sale. It becomes a profit. It just seems really, really silly, at least to me. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm not a businessman here by any means. I'm not a business major. I don't know what Nintendo's thought processes are. It just seems kind of dumb. But hopefully they'll make a buck or two off of it, keep Nintendo alive and going. Wouldn't really want to see them become a software-only company. I've thought about it in the past, and as much as I'd love to see a Zelda on an actual more powerful system that could do some impressive stuff, I think I'd rather just Nintendo continue to stay around. They are my childhood, by all means. I don't consider myself so much of a fanboy of them because I will bash them openly any day of the week for designed concepts. I mean, I still think the Wii, as far as for my personal gaming taste, was the worst gaming system of this generation. I loved the GameCube. I thought the GameCube was great. The 64 was great. Of course, the Super Nintendo was my personal favorite system and favorite catalog of games in anything in gaming history. But I think the Wii was, well, for me, it serves as a great homebrew device. That's what my Wii is at this point in time. And that doesn't serve much of a purpose even anymore, due to the fact that I have a Mac Mini hooked up to my TV anyway, and so if I actually want to emulate anything, I can emulate it on there. I can even emulate a Wii with the Dolphin emulator if I really want to. It's kind of silly, and I can then run it at HD. I can run it at 1080p through the Dolphin emulator. So I think it's kind of silly. Not all that big of a fan of them doing this, but hey, they're going to do what they're going to do. Now, the last thing that we're going to take a look at here is the Japanese police make the first R4 cartridge seller arrest. Now, the R4 cartridge is what allows you to play pirated games on the Nintendo DS. These have been illegal in Japan now for a bit over 3 years. Nobody's ever been arrested for them or anything of that nature, but someone has finally been arrested for it. So it's been quite a long time, and it's not a big story. It's kind of hard with this story because it's important that, yes, Japan has actually arrested someone for this. This is the first time anyone's been arrested. Anytime, for the last 3 years, anyone can just go, who cares? They're not going to do anything about it. Well, they did something about it. Now, I don't know if this guy did something more above and beyond that caused them to end up doing this, or what exactly it was that caused them to end up arresting this guy, or if it was just a, hey, we're just going to arrest this, we picked this guy out at random because we need a set example. I don't know, but it's kind of interesting. Now, I'm iffy on the whole R4 thing and stuff of that nature. It comes down to, at the end of the day, are you stealing games? And if you are, that's where my problem comes in, okay? I understand that some people, and you gotta understand, this is the vast minority of people, are just going to go, oh, I don't want to carry around all these little cartridges, so I got an R4 cartridge, and then I have the 20 games that I own on there. Less than 1%, I guarantee you, of the people who have R4 carts, that is their purpose. Almost everyone else is using it to steal games. And that's a problem for me. I do not like the idea of people stealing games. Especially when you're talking about something that's currently on the market. You're talking about something that people are currently trying to make money off of to stay alive. If you're having a business get hurt because of this, or if you're just having developers or any of these people, and yes, some people will make the excuse, oh, they make millions, don't care. They invented it. Just because they made something does not mean that you have a right to have access to it. You don't. As an example, I hear this complaint a lot coming from Australia, and I agree with Australia on this, that they get charged too much for their games. The price increase from going to Australia is ridiculous. Now, why that price increase exists, I don't know. I've never looked into it too much, okay? I've never looked into, is there something within Australian law that causes this problem? And some people have to understand that if it is digitally downloaded, that does not exclude them from Australian law. They are still, at that point in time, selling a product in Australia. They are accountable to Australian law and customs and things of that nature. I don't know exactly what the rules are. That could be the thing. But I've heard from Australian people before that I just torrent the games or just download them because I'm not paying that much, or they didn't release it in my region. That doesn't give you a right to download the game. Because someone created something does not give you the right to have access to that something. That's not how it works. Just because I decided I'm going to make a single painting, I've created the only version of this painting. It's a wonderful, beautiful, the most gorgeous. It is the Wild Stallion Save the World type of painting that we're talking about here. Bad Bill and Ted reference there, I know. I've only made one of them. It doesn't give other people the right to then go ahead and recreate my painting and keep selling it, or to go ahead and make posters of my painting without my permission to sell it. I'm the one who created it. I own it. I'm the one that gets to make that decision on where and when it becomes available. Nobody else gets to make that decision. So that's one of my biggest pet peeves that I have in regards to pirating and things of that nature in general, is when people start to come up with excuses for it. The only time I can sit there and understand to the point of any type of downloading in a pirating sense is if I happen to own something and I can no longer legally obtain it. I have the cartridge or whatever it happens to be. I own this object. I bought this and I cannot obtain it in any other way. As a simple example, I play my games, the Super Nintendo games on here are emulated, okay? I also own these cartridges. I just don't have a capture card hooked up to my computer in order to capture them. I own the cartridges. When I did that little weird video of Kendo Rage the other day, I went to my local game store and I bought Kendo Rage, so I own what I'm playing. Well, folks, I do thank you all for listening. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them in the comment section below. If you would, go ahead and like and favorite the video and subscribe to the channel. Otherwise, folks, keep on gaming.